my community was sitting ducks and slaughtered like animals on a farm.
Nearly 6 months ago, Jenny Reuter's world changed forever. She lost her uncle and almost lost her cousin in Australia's deadliest act of terrorism.
I think currently the adrenaline, the shock has worn off and there's a lot of trauma that's come up. I don't think it's something any of us will ever get over.
More harrowing detail on the horror at Bondi is coming to light at the Royal Commission into Anti-Semitism. It's heard that within 29 seconds, the two gunmen were able to shoot 11 people. In all, 15 victims at Hanukkah by the Sea were massacred.
They were there to kill as many people as they could. They were there on a specific mission.
As the nation's security agencies gave evidence this week, the Commission heard that New South Wales Police treated the event as low risk, Tier 1 in a 3-tiered system, sending only a small number of officers.
I believe that 4 police officers was not sufficient for an event like that. Our entire community has been screaming it from the rooftops that it's escalating, the risk is getting higher, and we were not listened to.
Members of the Jewish Community's security organisation, CSG, told the Commission they warned police of a likely attack and pushed for a permanent police presence at the event. Police rejected that, offering a mobile unit.
New South Wales Police decided not to provide a static presence for the duration of the Bondi event, but allocated a mobile tasking. That is, police officers were instructed to attend the event from time to time.
Former police officer Vincent Hurley says an ongoing presence could have made a big difference.
So if there was police permanently there, they may have noticed that the two gunmen were on the bridge and that was unusual. So to actually have the police there may have reduced the number of people being shot.
And there was no police risk assessment.
The CTST command did not prepare a threat assessment for the Hanukkah by the Sea event at Bondi on the 14th of December, correct?
No, one wasn't completed, no.
So you've got 1,000 people crowded into a very small geographic area, and you've got historical knowledge of anti-Semitic attacks on the community, and there was no risk assessment done. I find that astounding.
Senior police lined up to give their response, laying out the decision-making at the time.
Because the threat, realistically, was more about antisocial behaviour. That is the evidence we had at that time and intelligence that we had. The issue here, as I sit here, is not about that response. It's about how did these two men happen to be there that day and do what they did and us not know about it.
The Commission also heard that Operation Shelter, set up in 2023 to protect the Jewish community from anti-Semitic attacks, was wound down by late 2025.
In effect, Operation Shelter at that time was no longer functioning.
In name only, as a capture process, I believe, for reports and certain deployments at local level by commands, but not a centralised group that was deployed centrally across Sydney.
Operation Shelter will now be bolstered by up to 250 officers in a new rapid response unit.
Since the attack on Bondi, has Operation Shelter been reinvigorated, if I can put it that way?
Certainly, Commissioner, it's been in effect since very shortly after December the 14th.
The Director-General of the nation's domestic spy agency, ASIO, Mike Burgess, was also in the stand. He was pressed on ASIO's resourcing and why ASIO had shifted its focus to foreign interference in the years before the attack.
Did that create a resourcing problem?
It certainly stretches us and stretched us at the time, but we have a very effective identification and prioritisation process by which we're looking at what we have. And I'm confident as Director General that even during that time, when my officers were working really hard, we were not actually leaving serious matters untreated or uninvestigated. And that's the matters before us, of course. Again, I'd stress, we are not all seeing and all knowing.
In a written submission, Mike Burgess also says the Commonwealth is seeking to use public interest immunity to suppress information about whether Cabinet decided or issued directions to reduce counter-terrorism efforts. He adds, ASIO was not directed by any minister to do so in the years before the Bondi attack.
It's really difficult to say whether or not ASIO has neglected counter-terrorism. I think there's still been a strong presence. The question is, for the Commission and for ASIO moving forward, what is their core priority?
Extremism expert Josh Roos also works for the Door Foundation, which combats anti-Semitism. He says there are still questions about ASIO's intelligence on the gunman.
They also, based on reporting, allegedly travelled to Uzbekistan, attempting to gain entry to Afghanistan. Reporting indicates that they were in the Philippines for a prolonged period of time, in Mindanao, which is a Islamist extremist hotspot. So for those significant incidents to be missed and not put together signals at some point a significant gap in our understanding.
The latest round of public hearings wrapped up today, and the Commission will now hear evidence in secret for the next 2 weeks. Some of the security witnesses will return, and there'll be details given about intelligence agencies and their operations that the public will never become aware of.
It's a really significant tension between ensuring, for example, that tactics, tradecraft and investigative approaches are kept secret. But on the other hand, this is a critical moment in Australian history. This is the deadliest terror attack ever in Australia.
I am concerned that some of these hearings are going to be closed hearings, and the public and our community are not going to be able to get the information we so desperately want to hear.